remember going to school one day. It was towards the end of my 8th grade year. It happened during lunch. A couple of guys called me fat. I didn't really know how to react, so when I had the chance, I decided to text my brother. He had told me I needed to tell my teacher about it, so I did. The teacher had them apologize to me, but their sorries didn't seem meaningful. It made me feel as if I wasn't wanted. That's when I began to have suicidal thoughts. I felt as if from that day, everything was getting worse. When I got home, I ran to my room and I burst into tears. I remember my mom going in there, her eyes all red and puffy as if she had been crying too. She kept asking me what was wrong. I wouldn't tell her. She then began to cry. She told me I needed to start packing. That's the day she told me about her divorce. When I heard that, I was in such shock. They'd play along like they were so happy together, but behind the curtains, it was as if they hated each other. In that moment, I just wanted to disappear. It was just too much for me to process, as if my world were coming to an end. Then summer came, and I knew that's when we were moving out. I was actually kind of excited to be leaving my dad. It may sound kind of rude, but I didn't like the way he treated my mom. He always seemed to be putting her down, putting all the blame on her, when in reality, it was all him. I remember being in their room when he attempted to beat her. I was so scared, but I wasn't going to let him. I remember yelling, crying, thinking, what if he beats me too? My brother walked in when my dad raised his hand at me and my mom. Ever since then, I see my brother as my hero. He saved us from the villain, in my case, my dad. I always look up to him. He's always there for me. Although I could always count on him to be there, for some reason, I still felt alone. My suicidal thoughts just wouldn't go away. I remember always thinking to myself, why am I here? Do I have a reason to live? I hated having those thoughts. They just seemed to make things worse. They'd make me feel so depressed and angry with life. Although I was in such pain, I'd always fake a smile. I can remember all the times that I cried myself to sleep. I felt like I had no one, like I was living on my own. Although it was just me and my mom now, the only times I'd see her would be weekends and if I stayed up at night to wait for her to get home from work. Things just weren't the same. I'd always try to keep smiling because when my mom saw me happy, she'd be happy. There was one time where I just felt so alone. I needed to do something. So I went out and tried marijuana for the first time. The high I got from it made me feel so happy and relieved, like I had nothing to worry about. Ever since I tried that, my suicidal thoughts started going away. I kept doing it so I'd feel happy. The only thing was, I started changing. I realized I wasn't the same anymore. I'd argue with my mom over the dumbest things. I'd get so mad that I'd go punch the wall and just leave. My mom got tired of it. She called my brother and told him I was misbehaving. He came and talked to me. I told him everything I had done. He was disappointed, but he said, everything will be okay. You just have to stop. I don't want anything to happen to you. Those words made me feel like I had a reason to live. After that day, I became quite close with my brother. Even if he's miles away, I believe he'll always be my hero. He's the person I can count on most. Yeah, we argue and are mad at each other, but in the end, he's my shoulder to cry on. I believe everyone has someone they can go to. Someone you may not talk to every day, but when it's important, that person will be there for you. There's that one person you can count on for anything. I believe we all have a hero that can make us feel safe. A hero who can be a great distance away, yet still be there to help you. This, I believe.